I'll just say it. Baby Yoda is just so adorable. I'm John Berry, and welcome to my review of Star Wars The Mandalorian, Chapter 3, subtitled The Sin. So if you have not yet watched the episode, I encourage you to add this video to your watch later playlist and come back once you have watched the episode, because I will be spoiling it. And to all my international viewers who don't have access to Disney Plus and those who just haven't gotten it, well, I will be spoiling The Mandalorian for you as well if you continue to watch this video. But now that we got the spoiler warning out of the way, let's actually talk about the episode. So the episode basically begins with the Mandalorian giving the asset Baby Yoda, as most of us are calling him because he doesn't have a name yet. Oh, could be a she, we don't know. But the asset, Baby Yoda, is given over to the Imperials, and he gets the Beskar, a lot of Beskar. All of his armor now, I believe, is 100% Beskar, which is probably going to give him a huge edge. And then we learn that he could, what's the word I'm looking for? We learn a little more about Mandalorian culture and all this as well, that they've chosen to remain hidden and only one of them goes out at a time, which then we get to see that statement play out at the later part of the episode. There's a callback to it, so it's a very subtle callback in the way it's done, which I'll get to a little bit later. The one thing I should mention, before the Mandalorian gives the Baby Yoda over to the Imperials, he's traveling back to the planet, and Baby Yoda gets out of its carrier and just goes over to the control panel, and like on one of the levels there's a knob on top. He just unscrews the knob, and then the Mandalorian takes it and says, "That's not a toy," sets it to the side, which is very important. I mean, that just side move, very important, just by putting the knob on the side rather than back on the control stick. That is so crucial, because when the Mandalorian returns to his ship after delivering the bounty and after getting a new bounty from the head of the Bounty Hunter Guild, he goes to pull that lever and the knob's not there. He goes, grabs the knob, puts it back, and then he turns the ship off and returns back to retrieve Baby Yoda, because he wanted to know what was going to happen to it, which is against the guild rules, but you can definitely tell that he's formed this connection with Baby Yoda. Probably relates to him in some regards, because when he's getting his full, basically, Beskar Mandalorian armor forged, we get more flashbacks and of him being abandoned by his parents in the midst of a separatist attack by, not the smoothest transition, but B2 bad droids. Yeah, I pulled down my action figures specifically so I can show them off. But yeah, I'll just drop them off the floor for some reason. But yeah, B2 battle droids are attacking, and the flashback ends with a B2 battle droid basically aiming its weapon at him as a child. And then we don't see what happens, but my guess is a Mandalorian saves him. That's my guess of what happens. And I bet his parents did die in the attack. And he's probably feels no relationship to Baby Yoda, because Baby Yoda has no family. He feels that connection there. In a way, maybe Baby Yoda could be is an orphan, obviously, could be a foundling, like in the Mandalorian sense, as we've kind of gleaned from here. Probably not. I don't think the writers are going to go that direction, but that would be a pretty awesome direction for them to go, and it would avoid the trope of Yoda's species always being a powerful Jedi. Yoda, Yado. Look at every time you see Yoda's species in Star Wars: The Old Republic era in Legends, always a powerful Jedi, which is not a bad thing to do, but kind of the idea we're all expecting that, but you subvert the trope and have. That would be just awesome. And just to have a small little, 3 foot tall Mandalorian, that would be Mandalorian of Yoda species and Mandalorian armor. That would be just an interesting thing. And actually, if somebody wants to draw a like a fan art version of that and send it to me, I would love to see that. I honestly really would, because that's just a neat idea. It's like, I don't think they're going to do it, but I would just love to see somehow it, as at least a concept. That would be awesome. But so, when the Mandalorian does go back to get Baby Yoda back, he does break the bounty hunter code. And at the end, there's basically a standoff between him and all the other bounty hunters. I'm skipping a lot of his, fights with the Imperials, but let's be real. They were not, he took them out pretty easily. And so, there was one part, I forget exactly, like, birdies, something like that, but basically teeny tiny missiles made of Beskar. That's why I gleam for it, and he uses them to help take out the Imperials when he's surrounded by them. Would be nice, and they're described as rare. So he's willing to risk a super rare weapon on Baby Yoda. And that's, in my opinion, very impactful. It tells you that how much this just little creature has come to mean to him. Like, he's identified it. He wants to know what's happened to it, in other words. He wants it to be taken care of. And actually, the one thing when he does get Baby Yoda back, there's only one person among the Imperials that he encounters that he doesn't kill, and that's a scientist. And that could be probably because the scientist said, if it wasn't for me, he would have been dead already. And that makes me wonder, I think we're going to see him again. The Mandalorian could have killed him, but spared the scientist's life. And I'm still very curious on what they were doing. Because there was one point where the Mandalorian was using his scope and he was actually able to pick up sound through walls, and something about it was, like, probably, most of the time about Baby Yoda, the scientist probably just somebody, is my guess, is about how it was so healthy of a sample or a specimen, something along those lines. So that does get some credence to the fan theory that the scientists could have been looking into cloning Baby Yoda. And that's supported by how the patch that the scientist is wearing, especially in some of the more promotional materials, where we get a better look at it, it bears striking similarities to the patch that we saw on all the clones in the Clone Wars that were on Kamino Nat and armor, the training, and also other people related to cloning in the Clone Wars. It's a very similar design though, so that does make me wonder, and that line kind of supports the idea that if you're cloning something, you would want it to be healthy. I don't know, those are just kind of some rambling thoughts on that, but the episode ends with a standoff between the Mandalorian and all the bounty hunters, like all of them, and he takes out a few number of them, and the other bounty hunters did not know how powerful his rifle was. Like, they did not know it was capable of disintegrating, as the head of the guild basically responds like, man, that's a powerful weapon you have. Something along those lines. And he probably would have been defeated despite having, just because of so many bounty hunters going against him, if it wasn't for this. Yeah, okay, this is not Jango Fett and not Pre-Vizsla, but Mandalorians show up to help. These are the only Mandalorian action figures I have to show off. So, but they all have jetpacks, and oh man, this is the best part. All the Mandalorians from the Mandalorian Enclave arrive, and they basically provide enough for distraction. One of them has a super heavy weapon, very similar to the clone heavy blaster, the Z6, I think, rotary blaster. We also see in Jedi Fallen Order as well as a few other places. Very similar idea, powerful weapon, and they hold off the other bounty hunters so the Mandalorian can get to his ship, where he does it very clever. He uses his, because on his wrist gauntlet, he has basically a rope device, and uses it to activate the carbon freezing chamber in his ship that puts out basically a smoke screen for him, so he can actually, stop because the head of the guild corners him on his ship, and he does basically creates a smoke screen using the carbon freezing chamber so he can get the edge. But the guild member survives because he happens to have 2 pieces of Beskar in his coat right where the Mandalorian shot. And I do wonder, could the Mandalorian have purposely did that on purpose? Because the Mandalorian knew that that the head of the guild had 2 bars of Beskar in his coat from an earlier scene. So it makes me wonder that, could the Mandalorian have purposely left him alive? Or did he just not really forget? I don't know, but I would love the idea that maybe he did leave him alive. But this is where I'm getting to the scene I really wanted to kind of talk about. Okay, not really want to. I just think it's probably I believe the word I'm looking for is the funnest scene. And we saw a very similar scene in Rebels. So the Mandalorian's flying away in his ship, and the Mandalorian, the one with the heavy gun, and the one that he got into a fight with earlier. That was a whole nother thing that was going on. Basically, the Mandalorian's called a coward by this other one. They got into a small tussle, though. But now all being Mandalorians eventually kind of resolved itself without any of them being seriously injured. And it was the Armor Smith is the one who basically helped defuse the situation, and that does give you more glimpse of Mandalorian culture. But he comes flying in with his jetpack, the other Mandalorian, the one with the heavy weapon from earlier, and gives the Mandalorian a salute. And the Mandalorian responds to basically just the audience and himself, "I gotta give me one of those," referring to the jetpack. And I just love that, because jetpacks are very associated with Mandalorian culture, and in Star Wars Rebels, we had a very similar line, I think, from Sabine on one point. Oh, she said it when she actually got a jetpack, but basically the idea is the Mandalorians all want a jetpack as soon as possible, which I just love that concept. But as I talked about earlier with seeing the Mandalorian Enclave, as I'm calling it, talking about how they remain hidden, only one of them goes out of time. But in here, they all, or maybe not all, but at least 5 of them, I would say, comes out to help the Mandalorian, revealing themselves. And then, of course, the main response, you're going to have to move the Enclave. I don't think he called it an Enclave, but that's still what I'm calling it. Basically, all the Mandalorians on that plane, they're going to have to find a new place to reside, because now they've basically outed themselves to the public. So that kind of tells me something else, too, that Mandalorians still are, I think, not still are, but are maybe not as respected as they once were. Perhaps we could get some mention to Boba Fett and how maybe people didn't like how he represented Mandalorians working with the Empire. I don't know, but that could be an interesting thing, and a good way to maybe bring Boba Fett in without actually having him appear. But that's just a random thought, but the idea that the Mandalorians are not as public as they once were because of maybe the actions of somebody who's on the fringes of Mandalorian culture, that I think would be a neat thing to follow. And I can't wait to see where this all will go, because there's clearly, I think, 2 plots going on. We got the Baby Yoda plot, and then we got the Mandalorian culture plot, and why they're kind of in the shadows now. I can't wait to see where that goes, as I said, I think 2 or 3 times already. So I am still waiting for one character to show up, and I think she might have been in the episode, but not present, and here's why. The character I'm talking about is the former Rebel shock trooper, because we see what looks like a U-wing, or at least I saw where I saw it could have been a U-wing. So that makes me wonder, could she have been, just off camera, implied to be watching what's going on in here, and we'll see her in the next episode? Possibly. I don't know, but I kind of like the idea that she maybe could be observing the Mandalorian for a while before they start interacting, which I think would be a great thing to do. I was actually expecting her to pop up in that episode because of my belief I saw what looked to be a U-wing. But alas, that did not came to be. But I do like the idea that she's just observing. And so we just gotta wait and see more where all that goes, when that character's actually going to show up. Something we just gotta wait and see on. But that's all I have for you to talk about this episode. Again, I really enjoyed it. and I saw it was another great installment of The Mandalorian. Before I leave you, I want to encourage you to go check all the links in the description, my social medias, my website, my Discord server, my Patreon if you would like to support my channel, and a few other stuff. Feel free to check any of that stuff out. Also feel free to subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so you can stay up to date on all future content. And as always, have a good day, a good night, wherever you are. May the Force be with you always. I have spoken.